Hello everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter. As always, I'm glad to be here today filming this video for all of you out there. Today I wanted to have a Christmas backdrop to go along with my Christmas theme because I've been to a lot of quilt shops in July and a lot of them do Christmas in July, so I don't know, maybe this is my play on that, but it is going to be a holiday themed program today, and today's program is going to be how to organize your holiday fabrics. So I'm going to step aside and show you this quilt, and then we'll get started with the program. Now some of you may recognize this quilt pattern. Many of you may have done it, but this is Walking in a Winter Land, and it is put out by Crab Apple Hill. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite quilts, but I think I say that about every quilt, but I guess every quilt really is kind of my favorite quilt. Okay, so here is most of my Christmas fabric. But anyway, I wanted to organize my fabrics because they kind of got all jumbled up. I'm not really for sure what I have, and I did organize my main stash in a previous video, but because I keep my holiday fabrics separate, I really kind of wanted to go through them and see what I had and see if I could organize them a little bit better. I've been learning more about how to improve my channel, and yesterday I watched a video on planning. They said that 1 hour of planning can save you 10 hours of work. So I kind of feel like this is a little bit of planning because I'm going to get it organized so that it's more easily accessible and so that I'll know more of what I have. So the first thing I noticed with all my fabric is, it's folded pretty neatly. I've shown you how I fold my fabric using cardboard, but I wanted to be able to see the fabric manufacturer, the designer, and the name of the fabric line this came from. So I'm going to show you how, and it's folded nice, but that's not accessible. But now here on this piece, you can see the selvage is accessible. So it's very easy to figure out what company, what designer, and what fabric line this is. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration on how I'm going to kind of refold all of my fabric so that it's more like this, so that all the selvages are showing. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece of cardboard. I just got this cardboard out of the garage, and it had a couple of spots, so I just put tape over it because I didn't know what those spots were and I didn't want anything to get on my fabric. But this fabric is 9 by 22 inches. Now, you don't have to fold your fabric just like I do. You could cut this any size and fold your fabric to whatever size will fit in the given space you have for storing fabric. But this is how I store my at least yard and greater pieces of fabric. Okay, so on this piece you can see the writing is on the writing is on the inside. So, and this is folded from selvage to selvage, or matching up here, and then over here's the fold line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay this out, and then I'm going to lay the fabric so that the writing, the selvage that has the writing on it, is face down. Then I'm just going to take this board, this little piece of cardboard, and I'm just going to start wrapping this fabric up just like this. Then I'm just going to fold that in half, and the writing will be right on the outside so that you'll be able to see. You may have to flip it back like that, but you're not going to have to dig in there and find it. You're just going to have to flip it back. Alright, so I'm going to do that with all my fabric, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, so while I was folding the fabric, I started writing down on sticky notes the different companies. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my stacks of fabric and I'm going to sort them. Okay, so here's everything. There's Ben Artex, there's Henry Glass, I have Maywood Studios, Moda, Northcott, Red Rooster. I had quite a few Red Roosters, Riley Blake, and then I just had kind of 4 miscellaneous pieces here. But I also had some pre-cuts. Right here, and these go with different collections. Now I want to show you some things that I discovered. Number one, I discovered that the Ben Artex, this line is called Pure and Simple. I had a pre-cut to go with all those pieces. I had Swell and Sweet Christmas by Urban Chics for Moda, and I had all of this together. I also ran across, this is a UFO that I'm working on, and this line is put out by Moda, and it's called Aspen Frost. I absolutely love this collection, but I had 2 big pieces of that. And I'm actually going to put that in this UFO box because all the fabric that I've used in here is the Aspen Frost. And I'm going to make a note that and put in here that I also have a fat quarter bundle. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go through each pile. And for example, these are all Modas. And I'm going to clear this off and I'm going to just show you one stack at a time, and I want to show you how I'm going to further organize each pile. So first of all, this is all of the Henry Glass fabric. And I'm just going to look through here and I'm going to say, oh, this is a Jan shade. This is a Jan shade. Let's see what designer this is. That doesn't quite say, but I do believe this is a Jan shade 2. Let's see who this is. This is a Jan shade. This is Jan shade. Now this is Mary Jane Carey. This is a Mary Jane, and this is a Mary Jane. Okay, now the reason I wanted to divide it up into designers is because when a designer makes one line of fabric, their next Christmas line frequently tends to be in the same colorway. So a designer's collection this year could coordinate with next year's fabrics. So I like to take this a little bit further. Now this is Olive Jan shade, and this fabric line is called Holiday Wishes. It's the only fabric I have in that line called Holiday Wishes. Now this is Holiday Frost. I believe this is Holiday Frost. No, this is Holiday Cheer, and these two are Holiday Cheer. Alright, so these are all Jan shade. I'm going to further divide it. I'm going to put the blues and then the reds together. So then I'm going to put the other Jan shade on top of that, because as you can see, I could use these to coordinate with this one, right? And this is Jan shade 2. This way I know that all these fabrics, because they're by the same designer, could be used together. And it's going to save me time so I don't have to hunt for coordinating fabrics. Now, I'm not saying that I may not pull from another line to coordinate, but I know these are the same company and the same designer, and I know that these fabrics will coordinate together. Let's do another example. This is Reindeer Magic. Now this is a panel, so I'm going to set that aside. And these all are the same fabric line. So I'm going to put the lights together, the greens together, and I'm going to put the reds together. And I'm going to stack them together like that. So in this one fabric line, I can see the lights that I have, and then all the greens and all the reds. And I know that some of you may be saying, that's too much work. But for me, this is going to save me time, because I'm not going to have to hunt for all the coordinating fabrics that go with this line. And before organizing this, they were all mixed up. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing that with my other stacks. Okay, so all that's done. They're all stacked up. They're all sorted by designers. The fabric lines are together. Now, with my pre-cuts, I am going to put this larger piece of the the Swell and Sweet Christmas together with my pre-cuts, because I did have a project in mind with that. Again, on my Aspen Frost, I've made a note in my UFO case that I have a fat quarter bundle still left of that. And I'm just going to put my fabrics in my cabinet just like this. Okay, so I want to talk to you and show you just a little bit about how I store Halloween fabrics. I know I said we were talking about mainly Christmas fabrics, but I know some of you are real Halloween fans, and so I wanted to show you how I do my Halloween fabrics. These are two collections put out by Fig Tree, and I absolutely love these collections. There's All Hallows Eve, and then their new collection called Pumpkins and Blossoms, and I love this. I'm not that big into decorating for Halloween since my kids have grown up and all, but I do love these for fall projects, and who knows, maybe some Halloween. But I'm going to show you how I've stored these. Now this is All Hallows Eve, and as you can tell, I just love this collection. I have lots of this fabric. But what I do is I just store it in a container like this, and I have it by orange, black, grays, and then lights. And I'm going to show you the lightest collection in this fabric and how I folded them to fit in this. Now, I've wrapped this on my piece of cardboard. Let's see if I can pull this out. Okay, just set that to the side. I'm going to fold it in half. Now you see I have the selvages where I can easily see that, and then I'm just going to fold it again. And then I can easily put that in my container. Okay, and then at the very front of this container, I just have my pre-cuts that coordinate with, or that are part of this collection too. Okay, now just a little recap. The reason I keep the fabrics by the fabric company and designer is so that when I do a project, I can try to use all the coordinating fabrics and use up all those at a time. And like with the pumpkins and the blossoms and the All Hallows Eve, I'll be able to mix these together and use that. So I do it to help save time and money, because as I've talked to you earlier, I like to use up fabrics on the back of my quilt too. If you've enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Always share with a friend. And as always, leave a comment. I love to get the comments, and I try to reply to each and every one. Until next time, have fun quilting.